Lisa, I hear somebody's holding the mic over here. Somebody else can speak into it, but somebody's got to hold it. So, you wrote up something beautiful in the bulletin, and the bottom line got cropped out. So you all are waiting for as well as... And what I heard is it was right there at the end. Those three right back in a row. And what it is as well as the joy of the resurrection is what they wrote. I heard that right at the end. So that's the big thing you were waiting on to feed your immediate need. Now let's engage more deeply their work. So interludium in modo antico or anticho, I don't know how it might be in that. Tell us a little bit about who selected this piece and that selection process.
Claire was the one.
I just heard this, I think on K-Bach, actually.
Okay.
And I play in a string quartet, and I just thought it was very beautiful. And so I played the recording for Lisa, and she agreed. And somehow it just seemed to fit this whole season.
Yeah, which you wrote about beautifully. By the way, it occurs to me your bulletin may not have the names of these people. Is that right? It does? Okay, all right, good. They certainly could. Yeah. Would you all mind just saying hello and your name? Help us know which part you played.
I'm Claire Sievers, violin.
Lisa Eisenberg, violin.
I'm Gail Rowland, the big violin, otherwise known as the cello.
And I'm Andrew Sievers on the viola.
Great. So, a number of things to talk about in this, right? So you gave us a clue that the fugue was coming there, and so a nice thing that started here with Andrew, and then went to Lisa, Claire, and then cello, I think, brought in the final there, right? And so, what is that like? What is that like handing that, starting something you can sort of anticipate that counterpoint is coming back in, and then the cello is coming at it from a completely different direction. I wonder if someone could talk about that a little bit.
I'd be happy to. There is, I wouldn't quite call it a fugue, but fugue-ish or fugue-esque, But you definitely have these moments where the individual voices in the quartet are sort of meandering off on their own, which I did when we were rehearsing it earlier today. It kind of invoked sort of an image of people wandering in a labyrinth or something along those lines. And then you have moments where things line up as they should, especially at the end, where the four voices sort of come together and you can hear how things fit together when the voices are playing in tandem with one another. And I think that's an interesting thought for Lent. Also, in the name of the piece, it says in an ancient mode, and the bell choir hates it when I start talking about music theory. But I think this is very interesting for those of you that are into this kind of stuff. So this piece flirts a lot with Lydian, which is the mode that starts on the fourth scale degree, and if you're thinking in major. So essentially, what you have is a piece that's largely in major, but then it has this raised fourth. And that means that your scale starts with a bunch of whole tones, which gives it that sort of, I don't know, Lydian is a mode that makes me think of forever. It makes me think of things that go on indefinitely. And I think a lot of composers use it, like the Star Trek theme has a lot of Lydian to it. So it's got that, it's just got that feeling of lots of fourths, lots of, openness,
big,
and then sort of going towards the infinite. So I don't know that the composer was necessarily going for that in this piece, but I would say that makes it very fitting for Lent.
So you rehearsed, right? You got together, and so you sort of bring together your gifts in that. What's that like to sort of take a look? I always say, give a musician just a half a piece of paper, right? And that's just dangerous, right? I mean, they can just do anything. And growing up with a mother who played the violin, she sometimes didn't even need the paper. So tell us a little bit about what it looked like when you first sort of said, all right, how are we going to take this off of paper? How are we going to perform it, bring it into a form that you all have done for us tonight?
I might sidestep that question
Yes.
for just a moment,
You know?
because I think it might be interesting for folks to know that we have all known each other for quite a long time. Yes, you
Right.
have.
Yeah.
Claire
yeah.
Sievers, Andrew Sievers, there is a definite mother-son connection there. Lisa and I have known each other since college days. I won't tell you how long ago that was, and so we have not played together for a while.
Mm.
And it's been a real joy to come back together for that, and I thank Claire for inviting me to sit in, because originally her son Brian was going to play on the cello part. So I got to step in, and I have known Claire since we were both knee-high to a grasshopper.
Mm.
So this is, a lifelong love of music that has also brought us together. So when we approached this piece of music, we talked about it briefly, kind of looked through things. When you're a string player, you try to match your bowing, the direction your bow goes, so that it sounds unified and has a particular emphasis to it. So we talked a little bit about that before we'd even played anything. And then Andrew said, well, let's just give it a read. So then we jumped in, and the rest of it we worked out as we played it and picked on spots and said, let's fix this, let's do that, and here it is for you.
So Lisa, any other ads? I see you have a couple of notes there, so I don't want to miss, by the lack of my questions, the things that they might benefit from. So.
Well, I guess what I would say is that when we first found out that we were going to be playing, Claire mentioned that what she was going to be doing, and she's going to be presenting in a few weeks, and Station 13, when Christ is brought down from the cross and then handed over to his mother. And so for me, the process with this piece was I have not played it before, and so when Claire mentioned, well, I think I might have something that would be appropriate, something that we might like, why don't you listen to it and let me know? So I did that, and of course thought, the dark sonority was perfect for this. But still I didn't really know it. So over the last several weeks, I've been spending time with it and researched a little bit, found out that of the 5 novelettes, this is the only one that it's dark, and the rest of them are very much different kind of a character. But it kept staying with me what Claire had said, that this was going to be that particular station. So in my mind, when I was preparing it, even though it's a secular work, I came from it not knowing it, and so for me, the growth with it musically and spiritually and just emotionally was knowing what it represented with the Station of the Cross.
Right.
So as you mentioned, and I was going to also say that it's for me the last 3 chords are the release of the angst and the pain, and so each time I feel those, not only hear them but feel them within the instrument. And, it's like joy coming from the angst.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we don't have enough time for answers and questions for our artists, but there are 4 of them, not just 1. So that means you got a much better chance at catching them in the hallways tonight or in the coming Sundays or days that you're at St. Barnabas. So let's give a round of applause again. Thank you. Beautiful.